On Saturday the 7th of October 2023, Hamas militants invaded Israel from the Gaza Strip, in which they killed, raped, and kidnapped many people, at an Israeli music festival, back into Gaza, which is believed to be the worst civilian massacre in Israeli history. What many don't know, however, is that these terrorists are only obeying the commandments of Allah and Muhammad, contained in the Quran and Hadiths, and in doing so, they are assuring themselves a place in paradise. Jihad is one of the most sacred duties Muslims perform. The word jihad is an Arabic word which means struggle. In this sense, jihad is the struggle for the cause of spreading Islam, using all means available to Muslims, including violence. This kind of jihad is often referred to as holy war. Allah orders Muslims in the Quran to terrorize non-Muslims on his behalf. In Quran 8:60, Allah said, "Strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of God and your enemies." He spoke again, in Quran 9:14, "Fight, that is kill them, meaning non-Muslims, and God will punish, that is torment them by your hands and cover them with shame." He further spoke in Quran 8:13-17, "I will instill terror into the hearts of the unbelievers, smite ye above their necks and smite all their fingertips off them. It is not ye who slew them, it was God." In the Hadith, Muhammad also urges Muslims to practice jihad. Muhammad was once asked in Sahih al-Bukhari, Volume 125, "What is the best deed for the Muslim next to believing in Allah and his apostle?" His answer was, to participate in jihad in Allah's cause. Muhammad was also quoted in al-Bukhari, Volume 4, 196 as saying, "I have been ordered to fight with the people till they say, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah." Muhammad also said in al-Bukhari, Volume 135, "The person who participates in holy battles in Allah's cause, and nothing compels him to do so, except belief in Allah and his apostle, will be recompensed by Allah, either with a reward, or booty that is if he survives, or will be admitted to paradise if he is killed." When the Prophet of Islam started preaching his new religion in Mecca, he was conciliatory to Christians and Jews. He told them in Quran 29:45, "We believe in what has been sent down to us and sent down to you, our God is the same as your God." This attitude changed completely after he gained strength. Allah then tells him, in Quran 9:29, to fight people of the book, that is Christians and Jews, who do not accept the religion of the truth which is Islam, until they pay tribute, that is the penalty tax, by hand, feeling themselves inferior. Regarding Christians and Jews, it seems that Muhammad hated the Jews more. During his lifetime, Muhammad devoted much of his efforts to get rid of the Jews. Muhammad was quoted as saying, "You Jews should know that the earth belongs to Allah and his apostle, and I want to expel you from this land, that is the Arabian Peninsula. So if anyone owns property, he is permitted to sell it." At that time, there were in Medina 3 Jewish tribes. 2 of them, the Kuka and the Bani al-Nudair tribes, were besieged by Muhammad's men, blocking their access to food supplies, until they surrendered on Muhammad's terms, which were that their lives would be spared, that they must emigrate from Medina, and that they must deposit all their belongings at a certain place for distribution among Muslims. The 3rd tribe, Bani Qurayza, was not as lucky. After the War of the Trench, in which Muhammad was besieged by the Qurayshites, led by Abu Sufyan, it was alleged that Bani Qurayza agreed to provide help from within, to Abu Sufyan's forces. Although the alleged help did not materialize and the siege eventually ended, nevertheless, Muhammad never forgave them for their willingness to help his enemies. Muslims turned against Bani Qurayza and blocked their streets for 25 days. The Jewish tribe expressed readiness to accept the surrender terms which had been conceded to the other 2 Jewish tribes, namely cession of their belongings and departure with safe conduct. Muhammad, however, would not consent to this, and instead appointed as an arbiter, Sa'd ibn Mos, a man who was known to be on bad terms with Bani Qurayza. Sa'd ruled that all Bani Qurayza's men should be beheaded, that the women and children should be sold as slaves, and that all their property should be divided among the Muslims. Trenches were dug in the bazaar of Medina for disposal of the 900 Jewish bodies whom Muhammad had spent the night slaughtering. See Ibn Hisham, The Prophet's Biography, Volume 2 pages 40 and 41, for the details of these stories. These are historical facts that happened 14 centuries ago. They represent a dangerous tendency for violence in the Islamic mentality. Muslim fundamentalists like Hamas are trying to repeat these acts of violence in this 21st century, and that explains what we see in Israel and around the world, by other Muslim fundamentalists. As long as there is a Quran and Hadith, and as long as there is a Muslim ready to believe all those teachings absolutely, violence and terrorism will never end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content on Islam.